Hi, Dad. What are you doing?
Just warming up.
Oh, I see that. All right, you have fun.
Sure will.
And I bent down and I petted him, and all of a sudden you heard this like that. So the trainer says, get up very slowly and back up. So the tiger did. He slowly got up and backed out.
Did you know I got bit by a king cobra? And after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died.
Did you know that I can build a snowman out of rain?
I hear that when you do a push-up, you're not really pushing yourself up. You're pushing the earth down.
Correct. Absolutely.
Kumusta at magandang gabi? I'm your Tito Goby, and tonight we're gonna react to Chuck Norris and the ghoulish woke cults. Now, Chuck Norris died on March 19th, 2026. He was 66. Oh no, sorry. He was 86 years old when he died, and he was a great man. He was a good American, and these ghouls just can't stop hating him because he switched parties. And pretty much Chuck Norris is pretty much right that the Democrats isn't the Democratic Party that we used to know. And here's the video from Rev. Oops, yeah, I was trying to make sure that I got the right date when he died. March 19th, 2026. Age 86 years. Okay, close that. God bless Chuck Norris. I really hope he rests in peace. Okay, and this video, like I said, came from Reb Says the Suit. He titled this video an unforgivable line has been crossed, which is, yeah.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about some news I'm sure most of you are already aware of, and that is the fact that the legendary actor and legendary person, Chuck Norris, has passed away at the age of 86. Now, a lot of people are celebrating the legacy this man created, not only in his career, but in his life as well, and we're going to highlight that, but we're also going to highlight and publicly shame the absolute ghouls in both the mainstream media and on social media who are dancing on this man's grave while his body is still warm because they disagree with his politics. It's absolutely disgusting, and I will do my part to show the absolute.
And mind you, this recording was made 4 days ago. And today is March 26th. So by the time I post this, it's probably really late, but hey, that's what I have to deal with since I'm just a reaction channel.
Absolute abhorrent behavior of these individuals. But let's talk about Chuck Norris and his legacy. This guy was revered by millions and millions of people across the world. He is an Air Force veteran. He's a 6-time undefeated world-class professional karate champion back in his day. He was the first Westerner to ever get an 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo. And he starred in countless successful action films over the course of multiple decades. And he was also the headliner for Walker, Texas Ranger.
And don't forget, Chuck Norris, he defeated 100 gorillas. Yes, 100 gorillas, all by himself.
A series that achieved major mainstream accolades and success. And you can see right up until his passing, in his 80s, he was still climbing mountains. Okay, this guy was an absolute legend. And you can see the reactions from many different people. Tons of celebrities are making positive comments about his life. You can see Danny Trejo basically saying that he was one of the realest guys out there, the nicest person he'd ever met in his life. He was a badass and also a good man through and through, and one of the greats of all time. In fact, Bruce Lee, his former co-star, has come back from the dead, okay, on Twitter to say rest in peace. That is the legacy.
That's also what we love about Chuck Norris. He loves all the memes that we used to make about him. He was a funny guy also.
This guy has left behind. And also, just to add this in there, the Black Lagoon mangaka has responded saying the invincible Texas SWAT, rest in peace. That is the reach that Chuck Norris had as an actor and as a person, and also the memes have been flowing in a positive way. If you're like me, back in middle school, the coolest thing you could have in your toolbox was Chuck Norris jokes, okay? It was a big thing. If you weren't around for that time, well, there's no other way of explaining it, but here's just a couple of jokes that people would make about Chuck Norris and how badass he was. Chuck Norris threw a grenade and killed 50 people. Then it exploded. Chuck Norris can put out a fire with a gallon of gasoline. Death once had a near Chuck Norris experience. Chuck Norris can kill your imaginary friends. Chuck can hear sign language, and so on and so forth.
Like I told you, Chuck took on 100 gorillas and won.
And I appreciated this quote from Smugglana saying his name is immortalized in the Barron's General Chat. 07, rest in peace, King. And I remember growing up playing World of Warcraft and being in the Barron's General Chat and seeing non-stop Chuck Norris jokes. That brought me back to many, many years ago, and just good memories. And there's a little phenomenon going on with Twitter in particular where people are trying to put notes on all of the tweets sharing his passing, trying to add jokes and stuff like that. You can see a proposed note even on the tweet sharing this news, but here's an example of a successful note where this individual says, Chuck Norris was born on May 6, 1945. The Nazis surrendered May 7th, 1945. Coincidence? Yes, there is no way a one-day-old baby could have defeated them. And the note says, Chuck Norris was born on March 10th, 1940. Come May 1945, Chuck Norris was definitely old enough to wipe out the entire Nazi war machine. Now, as Kongmin Lee points out here, seeing all the Chuck Norris jokes come back makes me realize how much better the internet was 15 years ago and how much worse it's gotten, and I could not agree anymore. And this is really the greatest example of the point being made here. The polarizing reactions, the people celebrating his legacy and bringing up old jokes that used to be shared about him is countered with this ghoulish behavior from both the mainstream media and social media users who are dancing on his grave, including those at Variety, who, by the way, routinely platform Hassan Piker. I thought you would find that interesting. They came out with this article titled, Chuck Norris was a great action star, but politics may overshadow his legacy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
His politics didn't change. He stood his ground. How can that overshadow his legacy? He's a man of his word. Oh, God.
They are shaming him while his body is still warm because he had wrongthink, because he was simply a conservative. And if Charlie Kirk's assassination and the reaction to that didn't wake you up, here's another example. And of course, as always, there's a Charlie Kirk tweet for every situation, including this one, where he said back in 2016, you can tell a lot about a person by how they react when someone dies. And when it comes to politics,
True.
Chuck Norris used to be a Democrat. Okay, that's the thing that would make these people's heads spin. But he came out not that long ago and said he became a Republican because he thought that the Democrats went too far. They got too extreme. And now all these ghouls on social media are proving him right.
Why are you a conservative, sir?
Well, I used to be a Democrat, but unfortunately the Democrats went too far to the left, and the Republicans moved into their position that the Democrats were 40 years ago. See, and so what the Democrats believed 40 years ago, the Republicans believe today. And so I realized that I had to go to a Republican because the Democrats just got too far off the trail. They just got completely off the trail and lost all reality of what America stood for. And so I realized that Republicans at this point in time are more focused on what is best for America than what the Democrats are.
Like I said, he said that they went too extreme, he couldn't support them anymore, and they're proving him right on social media. The reaction has been disgusting, beginning with the mainstream media, Variety, coming out with this disgusting article saying that politics may overshadow his legacy. Yeah, maybe if you're terminally online and the most obnoxious human being in the world, maybe that will overshadow it for you, but not for the average person who's not an Arkham Asylum candidate, okay? And as always with these people, they have to make everything political. They can't even celebrate the legacy of this man, whether it's his career or him as a person, without making it some sort of political contest. And this is the greatest highlight right here. If you look at these two articles, one from December of 2025 talking about the passing of Rob Reiner versus Chuck Norris, completely different coverage because one was on the left and one was on the right.
Yeah, complete bias. It's like night and day right there.
And these articles, by the way, were written by the same person. And you can see Nerdrotic in the quotes here saying, please make sure you have hated the media enough today. I don't think that's even possible. Here's another one saying, Chuck Norris spent an enormous amount of time celebrating what was great about America with those who kept us free and safe. And you showed in your arrogance why we hate Hollywood. Yes, a guy who celebrates what makes America great is going to be hated by the mainstream media, Hollywood, and all of the absolute freaks on social media. Here's another quote saying, you're better off dying a terrorist than dying as a Trump supporter when it comes to legacy.
You are what? Better off dying a terrorist. Dying a terrorist. As a terrorist, I guess. Yeah, I guess you are a terrorist. Oh man, these people are. Why are you in the U.S.? You know, if you're that anti-America, leave. Go to a third world country. Go to there you go. Go live in Cuba, or go live in Russia. Go live in Africa. Go live wherever you want to live, but not here, because you definitely hate Americans, so why are you here? Leave.
Media coverage. Could not agree more with that statement. And of course, Jimmy's Famous Seafood. We've talked about this account before. They are the slayer of these disgusting verified accounts here, where Jimmy's Famous Seafood simply says, go F yourself,
there we go,
in the comments, and achieves 111,000 likes versus their 2.4K likes. An absolutely impressive ratio, really showing how the average person actually feels about a variety piece like this. And again, like I said, this Jimmy's Famous Seafood account just absolutely destroys these obnoxious accounts trying to politicize things that should never be politicized in the first place. And I mean, they've gotten so much traction as a restaurant chain here and as a food chain here, and good for them. Good for them speaking on behalf of the normal people. But what's not normal is the author of this article. This is the person who wrote this article. Does it make sense to you, ladies and gentlemen? Does it all just add up at this point. And also, the same person back in 2016 said one of the Bachelor in Paradise's contestants just asked, "Where is Europe?" Guaranteed future as a Trump foreign policy advisor. This guy has, he's been experiencing Trump derangement syndrome for 10 years. No wonder this guy's brain is absolutely rotted to its core. But for a brief moment, there was a note. Just like I pointed out earlier in the video, there was a note applied to this tweet briefly. And of course, the Fun Police downvoted it, so it's back in the recommended notes for now. But when it was live, it said, "Chuck Norris killed his shadow while shadow boxing. That's why you never see his shadow when he comes up behind you. Chuck Norris can never be overshadowed," referring to the fact that the article said his politics may overshadow his legacy. Now, of course, it's not just the mainstream media that's making disgusting comments. Social media across many platforms, including Twitter, is saying gross things. And as pointed out by this user, "Love Defeats Hate crowd is celebrating Chuck Norris's death," with this tweet saying, "I know he's a fun meme, but Chuck Norris was a truly vile, ultra-conservative piece of crap." Yep. The second they find...
So, being conservative makes you a piece of crap. It makes you a Nazi. It makes you everything else but a good person. A conservative. All right. Well, they really need to look into the mirror and see how these people are actually acting. But I don't think they even realize that they're the ones being like pieces of shit. They're the ones acting like Nazis, and they're the ones who's messing up everything here in the US right now.
Mainstream media that's making disgusting comments. Social media across many platforms, including Twitter, is saying gross things. And as pointed out by this user, "Love Defeats Hate crowd is celebrating Chuck Norris's death," with this tweet saying, "I know he's a fun meme, but Chuck Norris was a truly vile, ultra-conservative piece of crap." Yep. The second they find out someone has passed away, they find out that they don't agree with their politics, and they start celebrating. That is how simple and ghoulish and predictable these people are on social media. Now, of course, if you want a true waste bin of activity, you know how Blue Sky is going to be. And people are sharing some of the screenshots coming from that asylum that is Blue Sky. This person with world buffs in their name saying, "Rest in piss, loser." This person saying, "One more Trump supporter down." This person saying, "Chuck Norris dead? Have we checked on everyone who kicked him in his bigoted cowboy behind?" Another one says, "Chuck Norris was a weird, far-right loser, and I think it's cool that he died." Yes, these people on Blue Sky, of all places, are calling people weird. And by...
Well, if the FBI is monitoring X or Twitter, they're probably monitoring YouTube. They're probably monitoring TikTok. They should be monitoring these people as well. And I kind of like noticed, if we rewind a bit, all these people who's tweeting, let's see, this account right here, I guess it's a furry account. The next one is another furry account. Another furry. And I guess let's see the last one over here. There you go, another furry. Okay. I have no clue about that, but there's kind of like a trend here. But we are talking about blue skies, though. So, okay.
Yes, these people on Blue Sky, of all places, are calling people weird. And by far right, they mean anyone who is a hair lengths away to the right of your average communist, okay? And in the eyes of these people, your demise is valid and something to celebrate at that point. But of course, it continues on Twitter. This person saying, Chuck Norris, weird MAGA behind croaked. Good, this individual says. Now, I can take a quick look and discover that someone identifying as pansexual, having a Taurus and Aries in their name, they're into astrology, and I don't even know what that is, and they have he, him, 23. All I can say is good luck in your SoundCloud career. I'm sure that's really going to work out for you, buddy. You seem like a miserable, awful human being. But of course, it doesn't end there. We forgot about Reddit, ladies and gentlemen, where people are celebrating on there as well. You can see the formal post here announcing his passing, and here is the top comment with 3,000 updoots saying, good riddance, you evil son of a bee. And someone says, glad to see this at the top. I will laugh at some jokes, but F him. No such thing as a good MAGA. Cue these show some decency cries from the right. You have to include a slur of some sort when you cheer for death so you can claim it's just a joke. Snowflake. What are these people talking about? A bunch of people in here are going to make jokes because of the mid-2000s. However, dude effing sucked, and I'm glad he's gone. Edit for those who are unaware. He was pro-Trump, Mike Huckabee, Roy Moore. He was also a massive homophobe and transphober. These people...
Oh, okay. So now I know why they hate Chuck. But did he really come out and say he hated the gays and lesbians? Did he actually come out with a statement? Or they just assumed that since he's conservative that he hated these people? I don't know.
People are so upset they can't even use their keyboards correctly. But this person says, wait, you mean Walker Texas Ranger was MAGA? Who would have known? And this person says, F Chuck. Another one saying, starting the day off right. This person says, F ICE, Free Palestine crashed into me. Rip Bozo. You get the point. Reddit is a cesspool as well. Here is a unironic communist LARPing account saying, breaking, Zionist Chuck Norris died. He joins Netanyahu in hell. Of course, they bring Israel into this. And a gimmick account breaking their character to say, just found out that Chuck Norris is actually a raging Zionist. Free Palestine and rest in piss. By the way, 90,000 likes. It's really that easy to reveal all these ghouls on social media. And here's some of the quotes of that previous post saying, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if a celebrity dies and your first instinct is to find something you disagree with them about politically so you can crap on them while their body is still warm, you're not the good guy.
Agree.
No, you're not a good person at all.
Agree.
If you immediately look for a reason, even a minute political difference to celebrate someone's demise,
is something wrong
the
with
second
your head.
they pass, you are not a good person at all. Like that, it's not even up for debate. There's nothing to say. Here's another one saying, in quotes, this person who I discovered 5 seconds ago held a belief I disagree with, died of old age, loved by all of those around him, epic win, end quote. Yeah, dude, you're a pathetic F. And here is just like the pettiness of it all, like a real level of pettiness you just have to witness, okay? This first one is already bad enough. This person LARPing as Liam Neeson saying, I won't talk about Chuck Norris because I have nothing good to say about that man.
Then why are you talking about it?
Ironically, make a post talking about him. If you have nothing good to say nothing at all. These posts are so passive-aggressive and hypocritical. Man. But this reply just shows how desperate people are to get an own, right? They say, I never could stand Chuck Norris. I didn't watch his movies or his stupid show. He was not a good actor and his martial arts skills were unimpressive. I mean, I already kind of went through his bio, but he was a 6-time world champion in karate. 6-time, and he was the first Westerner in the entire world to get an 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo. But this guy was a, as they say, unimpressive martial artist. It's actually insane. Now, the only thing left is, the devil breathing a sigh of relief because Chuck Norris goes to heaven, as this tweet points out here. And that's another reason why he was an open Christian. And as you know, on social media, that's like basically splashing holy water on a bunch of vampires. These people go absolutely insane when they find out a celebrity is an open Christian. Not to mention that he was a conservative or someone who became a Republican later in life because he thought the left got too far left and too extreme. And in his passing, they proved him right. Once again, they literally validated his opinion by showing just how crazy and extreme they are, dancing on the grave of a man whose body is still warm, who passed away at old age of natural causes after a life of achievements and a legacy that will be remembered for a very long time. These people on Twitter are just, they're showing really who they are. And if, whether it's Charlie Kirk or Chuck Norris, if these are not moments that open your eyes to just how deranged these people are, I don't know what else could happen. I don't really know what else could happen at this point. This is truly a shame, but I will remember the legacy of Chuck Norris, and I know a lot of you guys will as well. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Okay. So, that was Reb Says Desu. And this video was unforgivable line has been crossed. An unforgivable line has been crossed. Yes, it has been crossed. These people, I guess, are completely, anti-Christian. They're anti-American. And yeah, definitely they are ghouls because they're feeding off the dead or getting clout from the dead. I hope that Chuck Norris, God bless his soul, I hope that he rests in peace. That's it for tonight. And hope to catch you on the next video. Good night.